YouTube, what it do? Ronnie's Reviews back with another legendary video. I'm leaving work right now, but before I leave, I wanted to go ahead and show y'all the difference because like I was saying, my guy from work, Thomas, has a Mustang. And my last video, if you were watching, I was telling you how that's them over there. It's Rick being a dickhead. But if you're watching my last video, I was telling you how the stock exhaust on my Charger sounds way different than my stock exhaust on my Mustang, which was, you know, pretty loud. It wasn't loud and gargly and deep or anything like that, but you could definitely tell a difference. And Thomas was telling me he did a muffler delete on his Mustang. That's all he did was a muffler delete. And you know me, I've done the muffler delete and I put the Super 10s on there, 2 of them. So I'm gonna show you a side-by-side comparison because it actually surprised me how close it sounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and start mine up, let you hear that. I'm gonna show you what his sounds like with just the muffler delete. So like I said, as you know, I got the muffler delete. It's gonna be the mufflers. I have these 2 back here. I'm out of gas, so it turns off, but the 2 mufflers back here were chopped off, and I have the 2 resonators under there where I put the Super 10s at. That's what mine sounds like with the muffler delete and the Super 10s. Now I'm gonna go ahead and have Thomas start his up. You can see the difference, and all he has is a muffler delete. Honestly surprised me, man. And he told me when he did it the day before, and I heard him pull in, and it sounds actually pretty loud just for a muffler delete. And it was pretty close to mine, and mine has listen to that, man. And mine's got the muffler delete and the Super 10s, and all that is just the muffler delete. So yeah, that's pretty insane. 6. So there's no way that it should sound that good, man. It's crazy. I think Mustang does a pretty nice job with their stock exhaust and their stock mufflers and everything to make them sound pretty good. Because if it sounds like that with just a muffler delete, plus he's putting the other mufflers on there, man, it's gonna be loud. So you can only imagine, man. I'll definitely hit y'all back whenever he does that as well, because that's definitely gonna make a difference. It's crazy. But like I said, I'm on my way out of work right now, and this is what I hate about leaving work. They're doing shit, big embarrassing. They're doing construction, building a little Family Dollar right there, and they got this thing looking like I'm going through the trenches trying to get out of work. Going through this every single day, man. There's this there's this one video I saw on Twitter, and it was showing a Range Rover going through a little road, and it had big ditches and everything. Man, that's what it feels like going through here. There's so many bumps and everything. I'm surprised I haven't messed up my suspension yet. And whenever I go over this, see how slow I'm going. Like, I'm not taking any chances with messing up my suspension. And they need to hurry up and get this stuff done, because it's been like this, man. Look at this. They got this whole thing jacked up. I'm gonna have to go around the cones just to get out of here, man. This is crazy. It's insane. It's been like that for I don't know how long, a month, 2 months maybe. And they're just now starting to lay down some of the concrete for the road. It's crazy. That's the only thing. And especially whenever it rains and I got to go through that and it's muddy. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a car wash and then the next day forgot that I have to go to work, and it's just back dirty the very next day. Man, the city doesn't care about what kind of car you have or where you work, whatever it is. They're gonna take their sweet ass time. They're gonna do what they need to do to make sure that they extend out any project they have as long as possible. Dallas is cool and everything, but when they're doing construction, man, it takes forever. I know y'all seen, or if any of y'all live in Dallas, how long it took for them to finally finish doing 35 from, like, as soon as you exit off of 635 going 35 north, from there to Denton, and they're still working on the one up in Denton, and it's taking them that long. Like, it's insane. But video I'm gonna have for y'all today is gonna be a little story time. It's gonna be about the dealership experience I had, got this car from and financed it from. And I actually didn't even finance it through them because of how they were acting and how they chose to go about business, which really surprised me. I know dealerships are tricky, and you know, they try to get one up on you all the time, and this and that. You hear all the stories about dealerships, but I've been to a lot of dealerships, whether it was test driving cars or, you know, it was just whatever it might be. I've been to a lot of dealerships. My dad worked at a dealership, and I never experienced something like this, and it was insane. So stay tuned throughout the whole video, because you're definitely going to hear this whole video. And so I'll get right into it. Like I said before this, I had a 2013 Nissan Altima SL. Great car. It ran great. I had it from the time that I got it was last December, not last December, but December before that. So, you know, a year and a half ago. And I got it with 80,000 miles on it. And by the time that I traded it in, which was a month ago, I had put on 50,000 miles. So I drove it a lot, and I never had any problems with it. It was a great car. But like I said before, man, it's, you know, I wasn't big on family cars, and it just wasn't for me. And that's why I wanted to get another sports car, so I can do stuff to it like I'm doing now, mod it out. So I can mod it, and I can put muffler on it, make it sound nice. I can make it my own, you know? You can't really do that with a Nissan Altima. I mean, you can, and some people do, but man, it's not the same. So I went up to the dealership to trade in my Nissan Altima, and I was ready to do a deal that day. I had found a 2019 Dodge Charger GT. It was a real deep burgundy with the black top package, so it had the black rims, black accents. That was the car that I wanted. Originally, before that, I actually saw the one that was white with the black top package, and I liked it, but I think it was maybe just a little bit too plain. You see a lot of white and black cars driving around on the streets every single day, and so I wanted to do a little different. And honestly, burgundy is one of my favorite colors anyway, so that one really stood out to me. So I went up there to do the deal, and we're going through the paperwork, and granted, my credit isn't great right now. It's actually kind of bad, but they definitely could have handled their business a lot better than how they did. And so we're going through the paperwork, we're getting everything ready, and I tell them that I owed $7,000 on my Nissan Altima, and if they can match that, then we can make a deal. So they're like, okay, no problem, we can match that. That's not a problem at all. We'll be able to make a deal. I'm like, all right, cool. So them telling me that made me think, oh, they're gonna pay off my Altima and then make a deal like that with no add-ons or anything, and then we'll be kosher, you know? That wasn't the case. And so when they come back with their offer, the car was at, I think, $28,000 at the time with the rebates and everything, and I was gonna finance through them. Well, they come back and they're like, the best we can do is 18%, and you have to finance through Chrysler Capital to get all of these rebates and to get the extra discount, which isn't true. And I'll get more on that later in the story, but they told me that they ran my credit through Capital One, they ran it through Ally, who I originally financed my Nissan Altima with, which they didn't. They lied about that too, and the reason I know that is because I called Capital One, because whenever me and my girlfriend financed her car, they said that they ran it through Capital One and it was like 12%, but originally it was 10%. And when we called Capital One, they told us that, and so the dealership, they were acting like they didn't know what we were talking about, this and that. There was a big problem. And so we finally had them adjust it. And so I called them to make sure they knew the same thing, and they said they didn't receive anything from them. So they lied about that. They're just trying to get a high APR through one of their financiers. And on top of that, they're like, it's going to be 18%, and the final number is going to be about $35,000 that you're going to be financing. I'm like, $35,000? The car's like $28,000. Where is that coming from? It's like, well, with tax, title, and license, that's going to be another about $1,700, and then we're adding on GAP, and then we're adding on an extended warranty for covering the rest of your car to pay off your car. And I'm like, but I don't need that stuff. I'll add GAP later if I want it, which I have GAP now, but you know, I'll get more on that later. And so I'm like, I'll just add that on later, so you can go ahead and take that off. He's like, all right, well, I'll be back. So he comes back, and he's like, all right, number's now like 33,000 or something like that, 32,000. So I'm like, how is it still that much? Because I'm showing them the numbers, and my number is like $2,000-$3,000 off from what their number is. And they said, well, we still have this $2,500 option of the extended warranty. And I'm like, I don't need that. I have the factory warranty, which is $36,000 for 3 years with everything. I think the powertrain is like 6 years, $60,000. So I'm like, I don't need that extended warranty, so why are you adding that on there? Like, well, your car is only worth about $5,000, you owe $7,000, so in order for us to pay it off, we have to add in the negative loss somewhere else. Like, well, why didn't you just say that in the first place? If you're gonna tell me you're paying off my car, but then you're gonna go and try to go behind my back and add in a $2,500 option to say you paid off my car. It's not how it works. And so they were fussing about it. They were in an uproar. I was getting heated. It wasn't looking good. And so I basically told them, I was like, if you can't take off the $2,500 extended warranty, then we don't have a deal. And they're like, well, we won't take it off because we have to cover the negative loss that we have from paying off your car. I'm like, well, you can take it off, but you won't. He's like, well, yeah, we can, but we're not going to take it off. I'm like, exactly. So you're not taking it off. You can, but you won't. It's like, yeah, pretty much. Like, all right, well, if you can't do that, then we don't have a deal. And he's like, well, if we don't have a deal, then I guess you're just going to have to go do business elsewhere because you're trying to get one up on us. I'm like, I'm not trying to get one up on y'all. I'm basing my numbers off of what your pricing is online, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm adding on tax, title, and license, and that's it. Y'all are just trying to add on all this extra stuff to make money on me, and I'm not gonna have it. But on top of that, you're trying to get me to finance 18%. Nobody's doing that. I don't care who you go with. Nobody's doing that. I don't care if they're approved or not. And so I leave. I come back the next day, and actually before I left, I told them, because they were starting to get a little attitude and everything. It's like, all right, well, if I walk out today, this car is just going to sit for another 100 days because you can see on the website, it showed that it was sitting for 100 days, 126 days, whatever it was. He's like, well, I mean, you don't know that. It could sit for another week, another 2 days, 5 days. You never know. Come to find out, when I came back, I think it was 2 days later, they had sold it. But I guarantee you, they were pushing that sale for anybody that wanted a Charger. Hey, come look at this GT, because I know that this dude thinks it's just going to sit here, so we're going to push this sale until it's sold. They sold it 2 days later. I wasn't mad about that. I came back, I saw the car I have now, and it has a better price, actually. It was $2,000 cheaper almost for the exact same car. Which doesn't make sense, but it worked out. And so I come back, I'm ready to do a deal again. And actually, whenever I left that first day, I went to talk to my mom about what I was doing and if I was doing the right thing and if I should wait or, you know, look at all my options. And she goes, well, have you tried a credit agency? And I was like, well, no, I haven't. I didn't even really think about that. She was like, yeah, a lot of times if you try to finance through a credit agency, they will give you a way less APR and they're a lot easier to deal with. I'm like, all right, cool. I go through a credit agency, they approve me for 10%. And so I'm like, bam, done. I mean, that's cool. I'll go up there right now, tell them this is the number I have, 10%. All you gotta do is give me the paperwork and I'm done. So before that, let me remind you, I wanted the burgundy one, so I found one in Fort Worth. And I went up there. Before I did, actually, I was messaging back and forth with the guy, and I was like, hey, these guys are being, way over the top. They're going crazy, they're going stupid. And so I told him I don't want any add-ons. I don't want any of this extra stuff. I just want the car and the tax, title, and license fees. That's it. That's all I was asking for, not a bunch. He's like, all right, cool, we can make a deal. I'm like, all right, bet. So I send him all my paperwork, or not my paperwork, but I send him a lot of information, everything. He's doing the deal and everything. And the first dealership that didn't want to do the deal, they said they would give me about $5,000 for my car, which at the time I thought it sucked. I was like, no, I owe $7,000. There's no way I'm doing that. It didn't suck. That was the best offer I got. The next dealership I went to, which is the one I'm talking about now, the guy was talking to me, and I went up there to test drive the car. I mean, it's the same thing, same car and everything. It was perfectly fine. And I had all my paperwork set out. I had showed how much I make per month and everything. I had it laid out in fine print, how much I make, this, and that. For some reason, he couldn't put it together. And I had it added up for him. I showed weekly, I showed monthly. I told him it was a new job that I went to, so it's not gonna show the full amount for like 2-3 months, but it'll show you weekly. So if you just times that by 4, that'll give you the monthly average. You would think, but no. He just right over his head. He didn't even know what I was talking about. And so he's like, well, it's not showing that you make this much. I'm like, yes, it does. It says it right here. It's like, well, you're gonna have your girlfriend co-sign. I'm like, if I need to, I will. Fine. I had her co-sign, and that was an extra X amount of money per month. It's like, oh, well, you still don't show that you make this much each month. I'm like, how? Because me alone, it shows I make enough. Plus her added income, I make more than enough. So what is the problem? He's like, well, until you can show that you make this much money each month, we don't have a deal. And I'm like, how do we not have a deal? I have it in fine print right in front of you that I make more than enough. Every dealership you go to, doesn't matter what car it is, as long as you make more than 3 times the monthly payment, you're golden. He was like, no, that's not true. I'm like, yes, it is. Every single dealership I've been to says the same thing. As long as you make more than 3 times the monthly payment, you are fine. You'll be all right as long as you get approved. I'm like, cool. He's like, no, you got to be like 4 times, 5 times a month. I'm like, no, you don't. It's 3. It's like, well, until you can prove that you make enough to afford this car, don't talk to me. I'm like, it's right in front of you, bro. Like, how do you not see that? Man, I was like, you know what? If you don't want to do a deal with me, just go ahead and give my number to somebody else. If there's somebody else that wants to do a deal with me, give my number to them. Because if you don't want to put the numbers together and see with your eyes that I make enough, then there's no point of even talking to you anymore. And you know what's insane right now? It is 12:30. Man, look at this. It is 12:30. Why is there traffic? Dallas is insane, man. It is 12:30. Who gets off of work at 12:30? There's no way there can be this big of a lunch rush. That is insane. That is insane. Anyway, man, so I didn't do any more work with them. I even asked them before we even started to go on this whole big tangent, what are you even going to give me for my car? And he's like, well, we're looking around like the 3,000 range. I'm like, 3,000? It is a 2013 Nissan Altima, reliable car. It has the SL package along with the technology package. It has everything you can need in the car. On top of that, it's only got 130,000 miles. Some that's a lot, some that's a little. I think it's kind of in the mid-range, so it's really not that bad. It's worth about $7,000, $8,000. So I'm like, how are you gonna try and give me $3,000 for it? The dealership yesterday said $5,000. It's like, well, that's our number. I'm like, well, I'm leaving. Like, who's gonna take that deal? So I go back to the other dealership, try to do the red one. I tell them that I have the approval for $31,000 with the credit union. And this guy here, man, first, the person that I was working with, he acted like he didn't want to make a deal with me, because he was like, man, he showed me the car. He's like, yeah, right here, this car right here is $33,000. I'm like, yeah, MSRP, but online you'll have it for $26,000. It's like, no, there's no way, man. This is a $33,000 car. I'm like, yeah, MSRP, but it's been sitting here for a while. Online it's $26,000. It's like, man, I don't know who does these online pricings, man, but we're losing so much money. I'm like, it's not my problem. I don't know why you're telling me that. The car is $26,000. That's what I want it for. So he was acting like he didn't want to do a deal because they were losing so much money. Anyway, I'm going through the deal. I'm ready to make the deal that day, and a manager comes up, and he is like, in order, because actually, when I was doing the deal with the salesperson, he came back with the paperwork, and he was saying that the total finance was gonna be like $35,000, $36,000. I'm like, there's no way. This is a cheaper car than the one yesterday. So how is it the same amount that we're trying to finance? They try to add on gap. They try to add on a warranty. They try to add on like one other thing. So they had like $6,000 in added stuff. I'm like, dude, I don't want none of this stuff. Give me the price of the car, tax, title, and license. That's it. I understand there's gonna be negative equity on my trade-in. That's fine. I'm willing to work with that. Everything else should be the exact same. Price of the car, tax, title, license. That is it. He couldn't get that through his head. So a manager comes up. He's like, well, this is why the reason the price of this car is the price it is, because in order to get the, what was it, like almost $4,000 in rebates, you have to be financed with Chrysler Capital. I'm like, no, you don't. Where does it say that at? He's like, right here. And so I pulled it up. He's like, it said something about Dealer Connect. It's like, if you, price is shown through Dealer Connect. He's like, Dealer Connect, Chrysler Capital. I'm like, Dealer Connect, Dealer Connect. Chrysler Capital, Chrysler Capital. Not the same. He's like, yes, it is. I'm like, no, the only one that says you have to finance through Chrysler Capital is like a $250 rebate. I don't care about that. It's like, well, if you want this price of the car, you have to finance through Chrysler Capital. So I'm like, all right, I'll just finance through y'all. Tomorrow I'll go to the credit union and I will refinance. Man, forget y'all, whatever. So we're going through that, and I was like, there's no way it's like this. And so I called another Dodge dealership. Mind you, I went to like 4 or 5 Dodge dealerships. They were all playing games. And so I asked that guy, I was like, in order to get these rebates, not the extra rebates under, but like, you know, where it says the pricing and then it's like final days event, whatever it is, do I have to finance through Chrysler Capital to get those? He was like, no. I don't know who told you that, but they're wrong. I'm like, all right, bet. And so on top of that, this dude tried to tell me that tax on a vehicle was 8.25%. It is 6.25. I'm like, where are you getting this 8.25 from? He's like, that's what it is. I'm like, no, it's not. Your salesperson just told me it's 6.25. So where are you getting that from? It's like, well, he doesn't know. It's 8.25. I'm like, you don't know. It's 6.25. And I pulled it up on the website. Everything. Everywhere in Texas, the tax on a car is 6.25%. When I showed him that, man, he was baffled. He didn't know what to say. He's like, there's no way, man. I'll be right back. Embarrassed, bro. Big embarrassment. So he went back and came back, and he was like, all right, so yeah, it's 6.25%. This is still the number. I'm like, well, I still don't need to finance through Chrysler Capital, so as long as we can do a deal without that, then we're good. He's like, well, then we can't do a deal. I'm like, all right, fine. I go to the next day, go to the next dealership, and they were okay, but on top of the price of the car, they already added in window tint and wheel locks. So that was like $2,000, $3,000 in added options before they even said anything about it. So I was like, you know, that's not gonna work, because why would you add that on if a customer doesn't even want that? That's how they make their money. And so on top of that, they're like, well, we can only give you $2,500 for your car. I'm like, $2,500, man, what are y'all smoking? Y'all smoking big crack, because my car is worth at least $6,000, at least. And y'all are trying to offer $2,500, man, I'm gonna go ahead and go. So I call the other dealership and I tell them, I'm like, hey, I really want to do a deal with y'all. I like the car that y'all have and I want to make this work. But the only problem is I've been to a couple Dodge dealerships today, and I called a couple yesterday and today, and they said that I don't have to finance through Chrysler Capital to get those rebates. And you know what this guy told me? He was like, well, why don't you go do a deal with them? Why are you calling me? You don't need to call me if you're talking to other dealerships. Go do a deal with them. Since you want to get that price from them, go do a deal with them. He's going on and on and on. I didn't say anything. I just hung up. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to deal with you, bro. So I hung up. A few minutes later, I get a call back from that dealership, and it was the manager above him. He was like, hey, man, I am so sorry for how this guy is treating you and talking to you. I have no reason. I have no clue as to why he's talking to you like this. It's beyond me. So I really want to make a deal with you. I want to make it work. If you can just come in, we can try and make a deal. We'll make it work. Again, I am sorry for how this guy's talking to you. I'm like, that's fine. I don't have a problem with y'all's dealership. Just some of the people there don't know how to act and don't know how to sell a car properly. You would think a car dealership would want to be, you know, nice and everything. You think a car salesman would be like, hey, I work for you. You're trying to buy this car. What do you need? I got you. Nah. You barely get that, man. It's crazy. And so I go back that same day, or actually I didn't go back yet. I went to my mom's house. I was waiting for them to tell me. I was texting the guy over the phone, and I went through 3 salesmen at this dealership. 3. Finally got somebody that wanted to work with me, wanted to make a deal, and I worked with another manager, not that other dickhead. So I was texting him while I was with my mom. We went to a little late lunch, early dinner, and I get a call. He's like, hey man, we can do the $31,000 straight out the door. I told him I can put $300 down if it'll help, because that's pretty much all I had at the time. So he's like, we can do the $31,000 out the door. You put $300 down. We take your car for $5,000. We pay it off, and that's a done deal. I'm like, bet. That's what I was trying to do this whole time. That's perfectly fine with me. I'm on my way right now. So I head up there. It's easy, man. I head up there. The rest is, you know, history. I just sign the paperwork, get the deal done, and everything. Those managers and other people I was talking to were nowhere to be found. And I was really thinking about, like, walking by and, like, doing a slick, you know, flipping them off something, you know, quick, you know what I'm talking about? But I couldn't find them, though. So, I mean, that's fine. But in the end, I got the deal done. I got the car that I wanted, and I've had it for a month now, and I am happy. So that is a story with how my experience went at the dealership with financing my car. It was tough, man. Went through 4 or 5 dealerships, went through a couple dickheads that didn't want to make a deal for some reason, and you'd think they'd want to make a deal because that's what car dealerships are for, to sell cars. You would think that, right? But apparently some people don't want to sell cars. Beats me, man. If I worked at a car dealership, I'd be trying to get cars out the door quick. When my dad worked at a dealership, he was ranked 14 in the nation. Out of 14,000 in Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram, he sold cars like it was candy, man. But some of these guys, they just act like they don't want to sell a car to you, and I don't know why. But I mean, the deal's done. I'm happy with how it finally went. Right now, with a 10% and $31,000 financed, my payment's gonna be at like $593, and that's because there's no payment for 90 days and it accrues a little bit of interest. And without that, if I would start paying instantly, it still would have been like $580 at 10% for 72 months. So like, you know, I'll just wait and build up. I'm gonna put down another $3,000 before that first payment's due, and that will bring the payment down to like $520 or so. And then whenever I build my credit back up, then I'll go refinance, put more money down. That way, by the time school starts back up, I'll have like a $400 car payment. So it really won't be too bad. But that's gonna do it for this video. I'm gonna try and get this one and another one uploaded by Sunday, and then have stuff set up for next week to where I can do a couple more mods, maybe put in some lights and everything, and then have at least 3 or 4 videos for y'all next week. But like I said, that's gonna be it for today. If you like this video, go ahead and smash that like button. I need you to go ahead and subscribe. I want you to join the family and join the movement and support me as I'm making my way up to 1,000 subscribers. I'll get there. It might take some time, but you know, I'll get there. Any support that y'all can show will be greatly appreciated. Let me know what kind of experience that y'all have had at a dealership. If it's been similar, if it's been better, if it's been worse, let me know, because you know I like to hear about stuff like that. Any type of comments that y'all have, whether it's about that or what you want me to do to my car, any reviews, anything like that, just let me know. Other than that, man, that's gonna be it for now. I'll catch you on the next video. All right, man? I'm out.